Today we're going to shape this neck. Hey everybody, this is Matt and we're at Texas Toast Guitars. Thanks for watching. So today we've got a bunch of stuff to do. One of them is we're going to rough shape this neck, but before we do, we need to take the body that we've been working on. We need to sand the edge and put the round over on it. We also need a hole for the jack and a couple of other things that I think just, the last minute kind of things that we need to do before we get this guitar into sanding and then into paint. So we're just gonna kind of fly through all these steps. I've been doing this for the last 2 days on all those other guitars over there. So this is the last one I'm gonna do. I saved it for you guys so you could see how we do it. I want you to, I'm not gonna do a lot of talking, which is really weird for me, I know. But I'm not gonna do a lot of talking during this video. I'm just gonna show you guys how I do it. I'm gonna let it run. I'm not gonna speed up a bunch of stuff. But if you have any questions about what I'm doing, leave them in the comment section below, or if you're watching during the premiere, you can ask me during the premiere portion of the video, because I'm going to be there jaw-jacking and hanging out with you guys. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put a hole where the I need a pencil. You got one in your ear, Brandon? In your ear? Here. Aha, thank you. So we are going, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mark a hole for the jack. And I'm going to find the center of the guitar. I had all my stuff here. Here it is. And we're going to put a little hole. And we're going to come back and drill that hole later. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the sides down to 150 on the edge sander and the drum sander. And then we're going to put our round over on the back edge here. And then we're going to drill the hole for the jack. The reason we're not going to drill the hole for the jack now is because occasionally, if you're putting a big enough round over on it, the round over bearing can fall in the hole for the jack. So we don't want to do that. We want to do the hole after everything is rounded over. But because it's easier to find the center of this piece while it is still 90 degrees, it doesn't have a round over on it, it's just easier to mark that now. Cool? All right, so I know I said I wasn't going to talk, and here I am jaw-jacking. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to the edge sander, and we're going to clean up the edge with 150 and get everything final shaped until it's looking good. All right, let's do that now. So now that we're all sanded, we're going to put the round over on here. Like I said, we went ahead and sanded to 150 on the edge on the spindle sanders. Don't worry, there's still going to be lots and lots and lots of hand sanding that we get to do. But now that everything is looking good, we're going to put the round over on the top and the back. And remember, this is getting a super, super cool purple metal flake top. So that's going to be extra primo awesome. So let's put the round over on here, and then we'll go over to the drill press and drill for the jack. All right, I think that's good for the body. Now let's take a look at the neck and see what we can do with that. All right, so the body is done for what we want to do, and now we're going to focus on the neck. So what I would like to do is, while the body is still in there, mark where the heel of the guitar ends. And then I'm going to to set the body aside. And I need to cut a bunch of this meat off with the bandsaw before I do any rough shaping. So I like to, if any of you guys have been to one of the build your own guitar classes, you'll know that I like to have 1 inch from the top of the fretboard and then draw a line. And we're going to cut all this away with the bandsaw. And then I like to come 5/8 from the face of the headstock. And these are just rough measurements. Okay, so now I've got a line here. I'm going to remove all of this material here with the bandsaw, and then we're going to sand it smooth and grind it back and turn this into a neck. I'm fortunate to have Brandon here working the camera for me, and I'm running them all over the place. I've got all these things are all set up, and I'm moving them all over from one thing to another thing. So it's nice that I don't have to work the tripod, but Brandon's having to work overtime. So, all right, so remember, we're going to cut all this stuff out on the bandsaw. All right, that last little bit there, cleaning up the headstock, is where a lot of guitar projects get wonky really fast. So make sure your bandsaw is set up so you don't get a thin patch on one side. We're going to go over to the deadhead sander. We're going to clean up the back of this headstock before we go to the old man machine. And the reason we're going to do that is because the deadhead sander has a 36 grip belt on it. The old man machine has a 60 grip belt on it. And the deadhead sander takes off a lot more material faster and wears out the belt slower. So we're going to go over to the deadhead sander. Like I said, we're going to get it really close. And then we're going to go to the old man machine and we're going to finish it up. Cool? All right, now for the part that everyone's been waiting for. We're going to rough shape this neck and then finish shaping it on the deadhead sander and by hand. All right, I'm going to put some marks here to give me an idea of what the neck could look like when it's all done, and to give me an idea of how far I need not go with the power tools. So, you guys have seen this jig before. It is just a sled that holds our necks. And this is a 7/8 roundover bit here in the beloved pin router. And we are going to impart the 7/8 roundover to this neck. Okay. A lot of people ask, when we come to classes, do we get to build our own necks? And in many of the classes, yes, you do. In fact, in all of the classes where you shape your own neck, you get to use the tools that I'm going to use and the techniques that I'm about to show you guys. And if you're thinking about coming to one of these things, you really should. All right, here we go. All right, remember how I said I wasn't going to be talking a lot during this video? You know me. So we're at the deadhead sander now, and what we're going to do is we're going to profile this neck. I like to go to about 860 thousandths at the first fret and 900 thousandths at the 12th fret. So I've got a set of calipers, I've got my belt, I've got my neck, and this is the part where the actual handwork really comes into play. All the other steps now I realize someone's going, well, you're using a power tool, so how much handwork can it be? I've shaped so many necks with rasps and planes and things that I've developed my own set of tools to do this quickly. But For those of you, like I get these YouTube comments that are like, yeah man, CNC is like, is exactly like what you do, only faster and better and more consistent. Not really, because I have to do this. It takes skill to do this. And if you've ever come to one of my Build a Classic Something classes, you know that this tool is not as easy as just push the button and go. Guys who are good at it make it look easy. Who knows? Maybe you'll even go, wow, man, you make it look easy. But you've got to know what you're doing. You've got to ruin a couple of necks. And so yeah, I guess in some ways it's a little bit like CNC because we've ruined lots of necks on our CNC machine. But every neck that we shape here, that we profile, we do by hand, by eye on the deadhead sander, just like they did in the factory back in the 50s. So if you like CNC stuff, cool, that's great. If you are one of those guys who says things like, yeah, CNC machines are consistent and that makes it good, great. By that logic, Olive Garden is the best Italian restaurant in the world. Apologize to anyone in advance if you work at Olive Garden. But anyway, enough of the bullshit talk. Let's start shaping the neck. pretty neck-like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'd say neck shaped.
I'd say that's neckish.
What's next?
Huh? Ha ha! We're gonna wrap this one up.
Okay. You want to bring it back over here?
Yeah.
What if that was how the Wheel of Fortune wheel spun? And it was just that long.
It just went. It's a 3-hour-long show for the same amount of stuff.
That'd be a really funny prank episode. It just never stop going.
All right, so let's go ahead and wrap this one up. You saw me use the pin router and the deadhead sander to rough shape this neck. Now this neck is really close to being done. It does have to have a little bit of work in here and up by the headstock area. There's some spots that the deadhead sander you just can't get before it starts to grind away parts of the headstock. By the way, you ever wondered why the Gibson headstock comes so far up? It's probably because they had a deadhead sander to shape their necks and they could just go all the way around and do it all in one fell swoop. I happen to know, and I happen to have seen the deadhead sander that they had at the old Gibson factory, and you guys can probably see it too. There's pictures floating around out there. There might even be on that new Gibson video that has surfaced recently. I can't remember. Anyhow, you saw me like constantly looking and feeling and checking to make sure I didn't have any weird flat spots, measuring with the calipers. This is right in that 860 to 900. We're going to take it down the final rest of the way with when we sand this wood from 36 to 220. It's about 8,675, 309 at the first fret and 911 at the 12th fret. Give or take 0.11. The deadhead sander is a super fast and easy. I don't know, how long did that take to do that, Brandon? 53 minutes?
This video is 31.
It's already 31?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a long video, right? So here is what our guitar looks a little bit like, and we'll clean up all of this stuff and the headstock area. We'll get the whole thing sanded to 220 and it will be really excellent. We'll get the neck glued in and then we're gonna hand this off to Chris. So Chris is gonna be in a bunch of these videos where he finishes out the paintwork. He shows us how to seal it, how to do the metal flake, how to do clear, and how to wet sand, buff, and assemble, and all that stuff. But this guitar is super cool and I am really, really excited to get it finished up. All right, guys, if you have any questions, like I said, please leave them in the comment section below. I try to answer those as best as I possibly can. Unless you're watching during the premiere, then I can answer them right then and there. If you like this kind of thing, you might want to consider going over to our Patreon page and become a member. Even $1 a month goes a long way to helping us bring you guys neat stuff like this. If you can't do that, just like the video, share the video as many places as you can think of, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, that sort of thing. You know, YouTube has a subscription service now. Utreon, I don't know what they call it. You can sign up and you can be a YouTube supporter too. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel or join or whatever that is. Click the bell, ring the bell, change the oil, all that shit. So anyway, until next time, guys, this is Matt at Texas Toast reminding you that if you're so smart, start your own YouTube channel. That's what I did. I look forward to hanging out with you guys. It's always fun to do this in Sunday videos. We'll see you next time.